The senator from Florida is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise today to speak about an issue that is critically important to millions of Americans: how our federal government responds when disaster strikes, and whether communities can quickly receive the help they are promised in a timely and transparent manner. As someone from the great state of Florida, who is no stranger to natural disasters, we know how vital emergency recovery assistance is after disasters like hurricanes. Unfortunately, we discover that recovery assistance, public assistance, can be delayed for years. And that is very hard for communities that rely on that essential funding to recover. As a United States Senator, it's important to me to fight on behalf of Floridians to help aid in these recovery efforts and make sure that if communities are entitled to public monies to help them, that those are efficiently received. Because recovery doesn't end the day after a storm. After major hurricane strikes, like we've seen in back-to-back years in the state of Florida, it can take years to get communities back to normal. And the process can be onerous and confusing for leaders and communities. So to streamline it and make it more clear, I introduced legislation called the TRACK Act. I introduced this along with Senator Alsobrooks. The Transparency and Recovery Assistance and Claims Knowledge Act would implement a status tracker on the FEMA website. And this is so victims of disaster can have easily available knowledge and insight as those claims progress. As I travel around the state of Florida, I continue to hear from folks that not just want more transparency, but need that as they advocate on behalf of their communities. Just a little more insight into the aid process when they are recovering from these catastrophes. While FEMA is making incredible strides under President Trump's leadership, the TRACK Act will bring more sunshine, more transparency. After disaster strikes, the most important thing is to get help to those who need it as soon as possible. And this bill will help us do just that. And while transparency and accountability are essential, they must also be paired with real action and real results. And so I am so proud to announce and inform my fellow Floridians that following very productive meetings with DHS, I was able to secure nearly $500 million in FEMA public assistance funding, which was released, totaling in 535 projects across 14 disasters. And these had been requested for years. And this is thanks to the advocacy and coordination from folks all across my state, from Bay County to Broward County, city managers, mayors, constituents. Truly, it was all of us working together to bring this to the attention of those here in Washington to not delay these funds. And we're just getting started. I want to thank President Trump and his administration, his leadership for standing with Floridians as we recover from these natural disasters. Indeed, I believe Floridians and their participation in coming to Washington and meeting with their representatives and making sure that they are heard by their government, the people's government, that is why we have seen progress. And if there's one thing I can say, and I continue to be inspired as Florida's newest U.S. Senator, government will only work if people remain engaged with their government. If we, the people, remain engaged with the representatives that serve us, we, the people, are an essential part of our republic, working. And so I'm proud to make this announcement about these monies being released to help Florida recover, to further strengthen our state. But indeed, it is just an announcement, because while I was the voice of so many, it was their work, their advocacy, them being a part of their government that got this done. Since becoming a senator, I have been inspired by so many across my state that want to help in the administration of the people's government. They have shared their struggles in getting federal aid. They have shared their needs as a result of natural disasters, hurricanes, flooding, and all of that went into making this a reality. And I am so proud to have worked to secure these long-awaited funds for my state. And this urgency is why I'm also urging my colleagues to join me in supporting the TRACK Act. It will improve transparency between Washington and communities back home. Indeed, it will allow Americans to be more a part of their government. Mr. President, thank you so much for giving me this time, and I yield back.